Hello everyone, I am Yeshwendra Kumar Divangan and here we are going to prove the X-propagation problem. First of all, we will look at some terms which are going to be used widely in this video. X square, a square containing an X. Edge is any unit length line present in grid. Neighbor, any two unit squares are called neighbor if they are sharing an edge. X edge is any edge shared by only one x square. As shown here in this figure, there are 6 x edges represented by red lines. Perimeter of a grid system is defined as the number of x edges present in it. As shown in the figure below, there are 18 x edges represented by red lines, so the perimeter of this figure is 18. Mechanism for spread. If there is an empty unit square which has more than one x square as its neighbor, then that unit square can be made an x square. Figure A and figure B shows two ways in which a new x square can be made. Here is a 4x4 grid with 5 x squares. Now we will see how these x squares spread to fill the complete grid in 4 steps. So this is how the grid is filled completely, starting with only 5 x squares in it. Now we come to the proof of actual problem. We have to prove that given an n cross n grid where n is any natural number, initially having n-1 x squares cannot spread to completely fill the grid by known mechanism for spread. We start our proof with a claim. The perimeter of any grid system with given initial conditions never increases with the spread of x square. Let's see why this claim works. Let's start with the given grid system with perimeter P0. Here x edges are shown in red while normal edges are shown in black. Production of new x square requires two x edges. Now new x square shares those two edges with the respective parent x squares. Therefore, those two edges are no more x edge but normal edge. Thus, the perimeter of grid system reduces by 2. New perimeter is given by P1 equals to P0 minus 2. There are two more edges required to complete the newly formed x square. These two edges are marked blue because they can be considered x edge depending on whether they are shared with other x squares or not. Then, perimeter can increase, decrease by 2 or remain constant. If both the edges are shared with other x squares, this means previously they were x edge but now they are normal edge, so the value of r will be minus 2 in this case. On the other hand, if both the edges are not shared with any other x square, this means previously they were normal edge but now due to the production of new x square they are x edge, so the value of r will be 2 in this case. And if one of the edge is shared with other x square while other edge is not, the value of r will be 0. From this we come to the result that P2 is less than equal to P0. Hence proved that the perimeter of a grid system either remains constant or decreases after production of each new x square. Thus perimeter never increases in the whole process of spread of x square. Here is an example of a 4x4 grid with 5 x squares and perimeter of 18 propagates one step to have 8 x squares but the perimeter decreases to 16. Perimeter of a completely filled grid of size n cross n is 4n. Since the perimeter never increases with the spread of x squares, thus to reach the state of completely filled grid, we must start with a grid system whose perimeter is greater than or equal to the perimeter of a completely filled grid, that is 4n. Since perimeter of any grid system with n-1 x squares can be at most 4 times n-1, which is less than 4n, therefore we can never reach completely filled grid of size n cross n starting with n-1 x squares. Thank you.